Our good friend, attorney Gerald Griggs, man, who is, longtime friend of the show, man. He's the vice president of the NAACP in Georgia. And your page was one of the first pages I actually saw this video on, Gerald Griggs. And I know, like, because of the dealings that you've had in law and legal situations, you have a lot of insight on this. What can we do to stop this from being a reoccurring occurrence?
What we have to do is to make sure that we enforce the law. And I know a lot of people are upset right now, but the laws in Georgia can deal with this. And we have to put pressure on this district attorney to not just take it to a grand jury, but to take it to a magistrate and get an arrest warrant today. Because you don't need to impanel a grand jury to arrest these 3 individuals who murdered Ahmaud Arbery. And so I'm thankful to his family for keeping up this pressure for 2.5 months. To his lawyers, Lee Merritt, for bringing this to the forefront, and for everybody being engaged now in justice, because we need justice down in Brunswick.
How about the times that we've kind of like betted on the law and was like, okay, we're going to put it in the law's hands, and then you just see the people walk off, and all we're sitting here is with disappointment and the hurt from watching these videos, because that happens often as well.
Well, that doesn't happen in Georgia. We've had at least 3 police officers who've been seen on video, namely the last one, Robert Olson, who killed Anthony Hill, who's now spending 15 years in prison. So I know what happens around the country, but here in Georgia, when the activists get involved and the family asks for justice and we demand it with the legal professionals, we get justice. So what I want people to understand is, as you're sharing the video, go ahead and call the district attorney. Go ahead and call the attorney general here in the state. Go ahead and call the government.
What's that number?
Say, we don't need any more statements. We need you to lock these people up.
Can you give us that number, a way that people can do that proactively right now? Like that's the call to action. So we need.
It's on my social media. Let me get the other phone, but you can call right now.
Oh,
all right.
Okay.
So the number is it for Tom Durden? Is that the number we're looking for?
Yes, that's the number.
Yeah, his number is 912-876-4151. That is 912-876-4151. He's Tom Durden from LibertyCountyGeorgia.com. You be sure you hit him up. 912-876-4151. Go ahead, Ange.
I wanted to ask you, Attorney Griggs, too. Can you speak to what happens as far as, like, again, there's national, the more people start to see it, the more legs it gets. This has been something that has, I guess the story has been talked about for 2 months, but now it's really going viral. Can you speak to the importance of, like, the media attention and what happens as the people, when more people start to see it and spread it, like how that catches on for and helps you all actually?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we have to understand the historical moment that we're in. This is just like when Mamie Till allowed Emmett Till's picture to be shown in the casket. That's the moment we're seeing here. When you see the images in real time of someone being murdered, it causes something inside you to yearn for justice. And that feeling we have to turn into action. We need to protest, but we also need to make sure we hold these elected officials accountable. Again, no more statements. We need action. There needs to be an arrest warrant issued today. It can happen today to arrest these 3 individuals.
And you have people that are saying they're like tired of the protest. Like a lot of our calls that we just got, a lot of people are feeling like protests don't work. What are your thoughts as someone that is on the front lines and you see the effects?
Anthony Hill, Gregory Towns, Kane Rogers, Jamarian Robinson. All of these cases have been because of protests that we are getting justice. So for the people that keep saying it doesn't work, I want y'all to investigate those cases and see how we got justice. We just got 15 years for an officer not more than 3 months ago here in Georgia. So again, I know what's happening national, but we're talking about Georgia right now. And this family needs assistance. We need you to elevate your voices, because if you sit quietly and say nothing's going to happen, then yeah, you're right, nothing's going to happen. But if you elevate your voices and hold these politicians accountable to more than just statements, the governor of Georgia right now can order the GBI to issue a warrant, go down to the magistrate court and get a warrant and lock these people up.
Now, Gerald Griggs, real quick, because this is something we spoke about earlier, like, you are speaking about Georgia, but on the national space, there is a lot of police brutality happening to us from the standpoint of overreactions from law enforcement officials, particularly on the East Coast too, where they're running down on us because they're saying we're not social distancing, we're doing this, that, and the third, and the level of aggression that we're being met with is definitely a civil rights violation. Now, if you're in a situation like that where you've been attacked that way, who do you reach out to protest that?
And that's where we have to realize that there are historic organizations that have been fighting this for 111 years. The NAACP has been at the front lines, whether it was lynchings with Ida B. Wells or whether we're dealing with the civil rights movement. What we have to do is stand up strong branches that will speak truth to power, that will litigate and legislate, and that will make sure that our public officials are held accountable. I've seen the videos from New York, Pennsylvania, D.C., and my heart goes out. But we need the professionals to stand up. We need the African-American lawyers and the people of color that are in the professional setting to stand up and say, not today, not now, not ever. And so that's what needs to happen.
We are the Morning Hustle.